Hey everybody, after a month-long break, I'm ready to get back into making videos again. This whole COVID thing has been a bit iffy for me. It's been very difficult to find a good recording space. But we're back. This is going to be part 4 of our Castle Magic Project series. Today I want to take a look at a couple things. Um, Being a maze that we're going to make with pressure plates. That'll be really fun. I've used it in a lot of my builds. It's a really good way to add a fairly simple and not super resource intensive puzzle to your house, right? So you can make some cool little labyrinths with it and stuff. And you can even add checkpoints and stuff if you want. It's not too difficult at all, honestly. But I'll go ahead and show you guys that. And then the second thing we're going to take a look at is the new advanced placement and advanced movement options available to us as wizards. And that'll be a lot of fun. So first, let's do the quick thing, and that's going to be our castle project or our magic project. So the first thing you're going to need for this is a bunch of pressure plates. I was only able to afford 7 because I'm poor and I haven't gone farming in a while. So I'm just going to roll with 7. You'll get the idea pretty quickly after that. So I hope that makes sense. The next thing you're going to need is any invisible object, right? So this can be anything you have in your house that's invisible. You want to make it face, the right direction and stuff. So I'm going to put that like here-ish, right? And then in terms of magic, you are going to need the action spell teleport nearest player to the target. Okay, and that's all you're going to need for this project. It's a really simple one, but it's also really fun for a lot of people. From what I've noticed, people tend to like the whole labyrinth scheme sort of thing. It just makes things more interesting, makes your builds more interesting. So let's go ahead and get started. So what you want to do first, more than likely, is place down your path that you want to be correct. Right, so for this path, I want to go out, I want to go over, I want to go over, back, forward, right? And then we're going to do that. Okay, so this is going to be our path. Okay, and right now, we only have, we're actually going to go like this. So we've only got uh, this as our normal path, which means we'll only need 2 teleport ones because these are the wrong tiles, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our wrong tile, right? So if they step on this, we want to send them back. So we're going to teleport nearest player to our reflector. And then on this one, we're going to teleport nearest player to a reflector, right? So what that ends up doing is if they go here, right, and remember our correct path is here, 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 and here, right? So it's like a weird Z thing. If they step on the wrong one, see they get instantly teleported back, right? And so they cannot get past that point. If they go, they get to the next one, they go back. See, it keeps teleporting people back to the beginning. This can be, from what I've found, kind of circumvented sort of thing. So you have to be really, really careful with it if you're gonna try it. But no, it doesn't look like you can anymore. Never mind. I think they might have patched that out. Maybe. This looks like a point in which like you're not actually pressing anything down. Yeah, so they can finesse it a little bit. It's not technically foolproof. If you want to get this more stable than that, so like people are going to be either on this one or they're going to be on this one and there's no in between. I think if you use the advanced movement now that we have that, that should be able to fix it. But we'll go over that in just a little bit. So yeah, that is the basic idea of a maze. Just remember for every tile that you want to be the wrong one, like if they step on it, you want to teleport them back to the beginning. You just need that teleport nearest player to the target, and then you target your reflector. And you want to make sure this reflector is facing the way that you want your people to face whenever they finish or whenever they step on the wrong tile. Basically, where they're gonna respawn from their checkpoint. Now, another thing you can do is say they are coming around from this angle, right? So if you wanted to instead have a checkpoint appear, right? So like you would hit, say this one, it would set this as a checkpoint sort of thing for people. So if they stepped on the wrong one here, right, because this is an incorrect one, you can actually target this pressure plate with these two. So now, anytime they step on a wrong plate after this one, right, it's going to teleport that nearest player to that target, right? So you can set up an area where players will spawn after their checkpoint, sort of thing. So that's a good way to like help save players' progress whenever they're going through your maze. So yeah, that's the gist of what you're going to be doing. It's a pretty simple one. Hopefully you guys were able to get through that. Um, Again, it's not that hard. If you do have questions, just leave them in the comments below and I'll go ahead and answer them for you. So the next thing, and the honestly probably more important thing, this is pretty big for the game, for at least us housing wizards, is this advanced movement option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together something that we've never really been able to do that easily before in this game, ever, right? So I'm going to make basically just a cluttered desk. It's going to look kind of fun. But what I want to do is, I like our little fish here, right? This little fishy bird cage, right? Fun little pun there. But what if I said, this thing's a little tall, it looks a little clunky, doesn't really fit with my design. I want to put it on the desk, right? So we can do that now without very much effort at all. Used to, you would like get, this is a very large rug, but you would get like a blue trimmed rug or something, and you would twist this around, like twist the rug around until you caught on to something. You'll notice I did that in some of my other tutorials. See, yeah, you would do something like this, but you couldn't really move that bird cage down, and that was kind of an issue for some builds. But now we're able to. Moving down is a whole lot easier. You're still gonna probably need to have in a lot of your builds a box and some blue trim rugs and maybe a bigger rug and stuff, just for those more up in the air kind of movements. Like if you're moving a long distance away from a place players can't usually reach, or if you're doing a build in the sky of an area, or like out like past the walls of a place or something like that. Anything where you're gonna have trouble reaching normally, you're gonna want to have those rugs and stuff on hand. That's still going to be a thing. But for certain movements, and depending on how far away you're trying to move things, the game got a whole lot easier with that. So you'll see whenever I press to move something, we have this new advanced mode tab, right? So if I click that, you'll see it's highlighting our object that we're moving, right? And this is directional, so it'll move on an axis depending on where you're facing. So since I'm facing forwards, our right and left are going to be in this direction. If I was to face this way, our right and left would now be in this direction. So that hopefully that helps. So let's go ahead and see what we can do with this. So I want to move this this fishy bird cage probably about here or so, right? So I'm going to, normally your sensitivity is down here, and the sensitivity just means how much you can move this up and down, and to what precision you can do it. So if I move this down, something to note here, if you change the sensitivity, it's going to reset your progress if you don't press this accept button, right? So if I accept it, it'll stay there, and I can go back into the advanced mode, and then I can move it around. If I was to reset this, right? So it's back to where I had it before or after I pressed this accept button. If I was to move this, say down, change the sensitivity and try to move it down again, you'll see it jumps back because it goes from this reset position or where you had it before. So that's kind of a general overview. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably make the sensitivity a little higher, right? And we're going to move this down just a little bit, and then I'm going to move it over to the right, and then we'll bring it forward just a little bit. And you'll notice if I turn this way, our left and right are now like this. And because I changed the axis I'm moving from, you'll see it still goes back. It kind of jumps a little bit, which can be an issue sometimes. So I'm just going to make this easy, make it go like that. We're going to make it go onto our desk, and you can press the buttons or you can move the slider. I'm going to move the slider because it's a little bit faster. Okay, we'll go ahead and press accept. Right, so now we've got this fishy bird cage on our desk. Okay. The next thing I want to do, let's say this isn't an item in the game, as far as I know, but we got this stack of books that we can put on the table, right? So what if I did that? We go back into our advanced options. I turn it. Let's go this way, actually, because I think that makes a little more sense. We can move it forward. So already, this is a position that we're not normally able to achieve in this game, which is really cool about this. I think this is definitely one of the coolest features that's come out of, but I mean, besides Castle Magic, obviously. But it's definitely one of the coolest housing features we've had in a long time. So now I can move this book. See, I can't normally have it here. I can move this book into places we wouldn't normally be able to reach, and it would take a lot of precision work with rugs if we tried to move it any other way. Another cool thing you'll notice is that whenever you've moved a object with this new system, it doesn't act like a normal object would. Like there's still some collision, but not really. So like if I wanted to put, say, this button on the table, I could just move it inside there. It kind of loses some of its collision, which I think is really cool and really useful for a lot of fun things. But I'm gonna go ahead and continue with this. So we've got our book. I'm gonna move it just a little bit. I'm gonna go back into advanced move, and let's go ahead and raise this bad boy up just a little. I'm gonna turn down the sensitivity. I'm gonna raise it up to about there. We can go ahead and move it forward, move it to the right, and we'll go ahead and place it like that. So now I've all of a sudden, and with very little effort, managed to put this book on top of our stacked books, and it looks like one kind of fluid item, which I think is just so incredibly useful. And the last thing I'm going to do, just to kind of top this all off, is, wizards need a place to sit too. So we're going to go ahead and put this stool right up underneath this desk. And again, normally we wouldn't be able to do this, but now that we've got this this really cool system, we can just slide that into place, press accept, and there you go. So now, like in the title card of this video, we've got this really cool little desk setup where we've got a chair that's tucked into the desk. We got our really cool books on top of each other, sort of thing, and we've got our beautiful fishy bird cage. But yeah, so that is going to be this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. The next video I'm going to be doing, I'm not sure which castle project I want to delve into next. So if you guys have suggestions for that in the comments below, that would be great. But I would like to make a video soon talking about some more improvements I've had a talk with the devs via the forums and stuff about this before, but just some improvements and some additions I'd like to see to Castle Magic. So if you guys have suggestions for that video as well, go ahead and leave that down in the comments. But yeah, a like, comment, subscribe maybe if you guys want to would be great. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.